Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Melanie Smith Stamps. Today, we are jumping into Spellbinders Club Kits for December 2025. I'm excited to be back. I was gone for November, so I apologize for that. I had emergency surgery, and I'm now back and excited to be here. So, I'm going to walk you through the clubs here at the beginning as a show and tell of each of the clubs, and then we will jump into some creating together. So let's get to it. December 2025's club kits come with 10 different kits. Now, in January, clubs are going to change slightly. So this will be the last month that I'm aware that will have 10 club kits. I don't know all of the details, so I can't share them with you now, but make sure you stay tuned and see my video on January 1st at midnight for the premiere of the new club kits for 2026. In today's clubs for December 2025, we have an adorable small die of the month. This small die has double options. We can make an owl. It's actually a set of owls or a set of otters. Now, the pictures on here are not very good, but we are going to have a sample of the otters in this video. So I'll show that here to you in just a minute, but I want you to see the little owls. The owls are precious, and they're so much easier to see on here than the otters. So I wanted to create with the otters, but show you these adorable little owls up close and personal here in the video. Now, the otter is right down here, and like I said, it's really hard to see. I have played a little bit with the otters right here on some of the Your Paper Insider specialty paper and had a lot of fun with this. I created a little boy and a little girl, and it says, "No otter like you." Then I used the Better Press of the Month and pressed out, "I'd pick you again." So this is my first card in this video to share with you. I did use the 2D embossing folder back here as well. So those are the little otters. And of course, they can be made in all different colors. But the owls are also especially cute. And I'm sure you're going to see lots of those owls from all the makers this month. Now, for our large die of the month, we have a special caboodle item. Now, this is the freebie item when you buy the deluxe caboodle, which is all 10 club kits. It's a specialty price. It's about 60% off. So this is the Unwind, is what it's called. It's got a face mask and slipper. And then it goes with this Wrapped in Care. Now, this is probably my favorite die set of the month. I love this large die. All of us need more pampering. I think all of us deserve a pampering of some sort for Christmas, be it a nail salon visit or a new haircut or a massage or anything like that to let y'all know that you guys are special and you deserve to pamper yourself. But this little lady has going and getting some pampering. And I love that the Stampin' Die of the month also, let me grab that out, has some really sweet sentiments that go with her. So just think of your friends and how this would touch them, because it's got some sentiments here. Because you deserve more me time. And let's see, unwind and refresh on me. Think if you're giving her a gift card, you know? Then there was a couple others here. Have a self-love day on me. And let's do nothing together. I love that one too. Now, for other things, this has some lovey-dovey ones as well for Valentine's. Still crushing on you just because you're you. And you're easy to care about, sweet, and I love this one. This one you will see in a sample today, because real friends still send cards. We all need that one, and we need to share it with our friends. So that is the clear Stampin' Die of the month, and I think it goes with this one really, really well. This also corresponds because you can put her mask right on top of there so she can be relaxing. But she also has little cucumbers that can go over her eyes, or you can have her just relaxing as she is with her eyes calmly closed. So this is a winner in my book this month, the large die of the month. Now, Better Press. Better Press is awesome for Valentine's Day. This is I'd Pick You, and it has 4 one and done sentiments. So you have the press plate and the die that coordinate. So you can press once and cut once. Then you have this gorgeous large heart press plate. Now remember, these press and foil. So it's the beauty of the Better Press. And you have these 4 sentiments that read, "Suddenly all the love songs are about you. I love you even when I'm hungry. I'd pick you again. And you're the one I want to annoy forever." Kind of a funny one there. So we will be better pressing with this here shortly. And Glimmer of the month is called Soft Hearted. And this is a really pretty background plate. Really, really love this one. Striking. And we are going to foil this in this video as well. So we've got 2 sentiments here. Glad we're friends and felt like saying hello. You also have the coordinating dies. So that is another beautiful, beautiful plate. Our stitching die is 2 sweet teacups or coffee cups. Wonderful heart smoke, or you could do regular smoke. Then you have a stitched heart, which goes right here and meets in the middle. And then you have love you, and you have 2 sub-sentiments, a perfect blend and let's chat soon, which have the outside die as well. So here is what those look like stitched up. And we're going to add those to our foil plate today. So we will have those ready to go and go on our foil background. We're actually going to be stenciling live here in the video. I don't have a picture of it, so stick around because we're going to make a beautiful project with it. The Unlock My Heart is the 3D embossing folder of the month. Let me see if I can get that close enough so you can see it. It's got these large padlocks with the key hole in it. Then you have little tiny keys floating and little hearts floating. Lots of fun on this one. Great for techniques. It's got different levels of embossing, which is what 3D embossing folders are known for. So this is Unlock My Heart. And then we have Sweet Stems, which is our 2D embossing. This is a striped style embossing, and it's got a line of little flowers that are hearts, and then just flowers as the second line. So you can use this as a perfect little background, which is what I did here in this card. I had just the subtle background, which is always great to build upon, which is what I like the 2D ones for. Last but not least, we have your wax seal of the month. This is a nice arch with the heart in the center. I was given coral wax beads. This is one of their must-have mixes. And then for the glimmer, I received bright pink glimmer foil. So I love that the glimmer comes with a full roll of glimmer and the wax seal comes with your full bag of wax seals. So let me jump on over and get our supplies out and let's get crafting. For the stencil of the month, I have chosen to look at my Your Paper Insider palette for this month or this quarter and choose colors that we can stencil with that would coordinate with some of these. So I'm using these as inspiration. I thought we would go with inks in a green and a pinkish red for our greenery and our flower. So on the first stencil here, we're going to have the greenery, and then we will have the bird. The bird has 4 colors. So I'm looking at the stencil and I'm planning this out. Then the 4th and 5th stencil have all the greenery. So what I think I'm going to do is grab out some paper here and we're going to choose this color here, and I've chosen some inks here that we can pick from, either these two or these two. And then I'll grab these two pieces here, and I've chosen these two colors that look like a really good match. And then I'm thinking for the bird, we'll go with a yellow combo because this pack of paper had these gorgeous oranges and yellows in them. And I think those would also be really good in this color range. So let me grab all this and clear the screen and go ahead and get us stenciling. For this first coloring, we're going to use the Coral Berry and the Peachy Glow. We'll start with the Coral Berry. I'm just going to ink blend these bottom little heart shapes. These are a portion of the flower. So we're going to go ahead and ink blend these. Now, I'm going to be careful right here on the edge because this right here is the breast of the bird. I'm just going to make sure I don't run those into each other. You could mask that if you were worried that you might get them overlapped. But when you use a small blender brush like this mini brush from Altenew, it makes it pretty easy to control. So there we go with the Coral Berry. If you've noticed, I've left the tips a little bit lighter. I just like the look of that. Now this is Peachy Glow. Go ahead in here. This is the lightest of this color family. I'll make sure I have all of these items linked down below, just in case you find a color that you love. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off right there, just so we don't accidentally pull some of that pink into this color here. Don't want to have the little birdie's breast have a little bit of pink in it. Love this color. I think this is the first time I'm using this color family, and this is gorgeous. This is Peachy Glow. Love that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my stencils now. Stencil number 2. I'm lining up the registration marks on the corners, but I see that it's a little bit off. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it just ever so slightly to make sure everything lines up nicely. Perfect. Now we'll go to the ruby red for our flowers, and we'll go for the golden honeycomb for our bird. I'm going to start here with the ruby red. This is a little bit darker than the one before it. I'm ink blending on Hammermill paper, 100-pound today. I do have that in my Amazon store, and this is a paper I use pretty regularly. I like how thick it is, and I also love it for my glimmering. I use it a lot. I use it for both ink blending and glimmering. So I like a paper that has a lot of uses. You can also use this for your layering as well, and even your card bases. Very nice universal paper. Just going to go ahead and wipe that ink off there. Now we'll go to the golden honeycomb. This one is a nice golden yellow. This is going to be perfect for the beak as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do his beak and his wing. There we go. We also have our little heart up here. So why don't we go ahead and use the ruby red again? Then we'll go ahead and fill that heart in as well. Being very careful, make sure I don't hit the beak. And this I'm filling in completely red instead of having a little white at the edge. Now, these are all dye-based inks. They're fresh dye inks, to be exact, from Altenew, and they dry back really nicely. So you don't have to worry about anything splotchy, it will all dry back nice and smooth. We are done with stencil number 2. We'll go ahead and line up stencil number 3. This will be the head and the tail of the bird. Beautiful. Perfect. All right, and for this one, I'm going to use Autumn Blaze. Okay. Very pretty. Thought this would be definitely a pop of color for our bird. That's stencil number 3. Now we can come with stencil number 4. I am using an Altenew Sticky Matte, the 9x13, underneath my stencil and paper. It's really nice because it holds down everything and you do not have to worry about tape. For this one, we're going into the leaves and branches. So we're going to use our Firefly. This is one of my favorite greens that I use from Altenew. Here again, I am leaving little bits of white towards the tips of the leaf just to show a highlight. Go up here and do the twig as well, the little branch from the heart. And we will peel that and reveal. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Now we will go to our last layer. This is layer 5. And this will be the icing on the cake. All of this is going to be our detail layers. So we have a little bit of everything going on here. So you need to really pay attention to what you're doing because you have the details in the birds, you have the details in the flowers, you have the details in the leaves, and you also have some extra twigs here for the greenery. So let's think this through. We're going to go ahead and close our lightest green because the green we're going to be using is going to be darker. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this darker as well, even though this one is lighter, because these are underneath these big flowers. And I would presume that these would have a cast shadow from those larger flowers. So let's go ahead and do the green first, because it's pretty easy not to get it everywhere. We might need to mask a little bit, but let's just see how close I can get. Just being easy going with my blender brushes. Now I'm using the mini. I don't have any micros yet, though I was really tempted with the Black Friday sale. I almost got them, but I was good and didn't. They've had some amazing sales during Black Friday. So I hope you guys were able to grab some goodies. Remember, all of my affiliate links are always linked below my videos for all of the companies I represent. I don't do videos for every company, but if there's a company you love and you don't see me doing a video for it and you want to support my channel, all of those links are linked down below. So I appreciate it anytime you think of me and use those links. All right, now I'm going to wipe these off one by one because I do not want this transferring to the other colors. It's a good thing to remember to get used to doing. Now we have the bird, and now this is going to be our darkest melted butterscotch. I'm going to get my darker one here, and I'm going to do the same thing, being super careful of the pink area now of our flowers. These are our darker shadows in our bird, those detail layers. His eye up here. It's like almost a toasted marshmallow color. Love it. Love this whole quad here. I'll make sure to list the quads themselves in my description and my visual supply list. So if this is a color combo you do not currently have, as it is a newer one, you can pick it up. All right. Then we will go and get that deeper red, which is ruby red, and we'll come back here and we will do our reds. Now let me grab that darkest color off of here again. Sometimes even I forget, so try not to. Let me grab my pink brush, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to be super gentle. So far, so good, guys. So far, so good. They're just far enough apart to get away with this. But if you are uneasy or a little shaky, make sure you just put a little tape down. You could use Post-it tape. You could use masking tape, anything. Your washi tape can be used, anything to cover up the lines that you don't want to accidentally go over. Now, I might not be perfect. I may get some somewhere, and it'll be okay. And you can also just kind of tap it if you're just wanting to get those little edges in there. Maybe you missed a little of the edge. Just do that. Now let's peel this and see how it looks. Very nice. That turned out really nice. All right. Now from here, we can decide if we want to use a die to cut this out so that we can then maybe frame it with some of our papers. Look how good that matches. See, choosing something to use as inspiration can really make something different that you wouldn't have considered previously. So, like these colors, I may not have ever put together. I would never have thought of a yellow bird. But because these yellows, which were bright and bold, were in this Your Paper Insider subscription box, I trusted them. I went with their color palette and decided to give it a shot. And I'm really pleased with the way the bird stands out. It's really in your face, pop of color, and I really think it emphasizes the actual design. So I will finish this card up and we'll show you a finished design right here. For this next card, we are going to create with the Better Press of the Month. And I've chosen these two pieces of card from the Your Paper Insider Box 13. This is a gray cotton card. It is made for letterpress. So I thought we would use it in this month's Better Press. And then this is a gorgeous red. It is kind of a glimmer, glitter, but not glitter because it's got that, like, there's no pieces of glitter in it. It's smooth, but it's got this shine like no other's business. I mean, this has got an amazing sheen and shine to it. So it was a must use in this card for sure. So I've chosen some ink to coordinate with our red, and we will press this heart out on the gray and then also press our sentiments, and then we'll put the card together. So I've got our paper here, and I'm going to go ahead and tape this onto our platen using some Best Ever Craft tape from Spellbinders. Just lining it up here in these inner guide marks. This ensures that your paper is straight and you can better center your press plate in the center of your card. So I'm envisioning it, right about here with our sentiment across the bottom. So when I lay it down on the magnetic base here, I can line it up with these marks to make sure I have it centered. And then I can kind of estimate here where, how much space we're going to have up top and then how much space we're going to have down here at the bottom. So it's really nice to have this magnetic plate underneath. Then we're going to ink this and turn over like so. I'm going to use the ruby ink. This is fresh dye ink from Altenew. And I'm just going to pounce and pivot until we've got a nice coverage. This is my favorite dye-based ink to use on the Better Press because it has a little bit more velocity to it, so it doesn't bead up as quickly as other water-based inks. That is why I tend to reach for this one when I'm using water-based inks with my Better Press. Now this has some ink here, so I'm going to remove the ink because I do not want it to transfer to my cotton paper. And red is very hard to get off. So let's just clean that up, take our time. I do have a piece of acetate here over my magnetic plate, which allows for the ink to come off easily in this step. And I do like that. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay, now we're ready to press. And now we're ready to reveal. And there we go with our beautiful Better Pressed plate. See how gorgeous that is? I just love that. And the feel of it is not too bad. It pressed into this paper very nicely. Now, this paper is 118 pound and it's cotton paper, so I knew it would work perfectly with the letterpress. Now, I'm going to grab my cleanser real quick and we will clean this off right now so we have absolutely no staining on this plate. I am using the LDRS Creative Extreme Clean. This is my favorite cleanser because of the amazing cleaning properties that it has. And I can get you a 15% discount if you haven't tried it yet. My 15% discount is Melanie 15. And you can use that anytime you shop over at ldrscreative.com. So make sure you pick that up and keep it in your back pocket for any time you're shopping because it does an amazing job. Now I'm just going to ink these up and press them out, and then we'll finish our card. Lining these up just like this and taping this down so that I can cut all 4 of these out at once. Since I have extra paper here, I'm going to go ahead and cut out 2 extra blanks so that I can add a little extra dimension underneath my sentiment. Now I'm simply just going to attach this real quick and we will be done with our card. I made this border a 1/4 inch so that we'd have a nice size border around the outer edge. I usually go for super, super thin borders, but I wanted this paper to shine. Look how gorgeous this paper is. Oh, that paper is so beautiful. I hope you can see it. Now, what I thought I would do, and I'll show you the picture at the end, but what I thought I would do is maybe add a couple of music notes from BB Cameron's musical collection. And I'll link that down below as well, just in case you like this idea. But BB Cameron had an amazing collection earlier in the year. And I think it would be really nice with the sentiment I chose to add a couple black notes to this heart. The sentiment I chose says, "Suddenly, all the love songs remind me about you." And I always think of my husband when I listen to love songs, so I think this might be his Valentine's Day card. So I'm adding these 2 extra blanks up underneath this sentiment. This adds a little bit of dimension to our flat card here. Then we'll add this and we'll add a couple of red rhinestones as well. Though I might add those after I get the musical notes die cut. But this still gives you an idea of how to do the better press of the month. See that? Then we'll end up adding a couple of these, and I'll add them to the circles on here. Looks like the O's of the love. Maybe that's where I'll add them, to the O's of the love. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll end up having our key or our music notes, a couple music notes in there as well. I think that will be super, super cute. Let me know what you think if you like these designs as I'm working through them. Make sure you leave me a comment down below. All right, let's jump to the next card. All right, with the 3D embossing folder, we are going to use Simon Hurley's Lunar Paste, and I'm going to show you a technique where you can really jazz up your 3D embossing folders with just a thin layer of Lunar Paste. So my idea here is I want the keys and everything to be gold. So we're going to start with red. And we're going to make the paper this glistening red color. I'm just going to use this little bit here in the lid. And I'm going to go in here and make all of the background red. Now I want everything to get red. So I'm just going to be liberal here and just go hog heaven. And we're just really, what we're doing is making like a pattern or a glossy paper. So on this, it's okay to be liberal, but when we go with the second color, then of course we're going to be less liberal. So you see here, I'm using a rounded foam brush, whereas on my next one, I will be using a flat foam brush. So I'm just going in here and we just want to give this a detailed color. I'm going to kind of squish it around, try to get all those crevices. It dries super quick, so you kind of have to work quick as well. I'm a little heavy there, but that's okay. I've purposely made this piece extra big so that I would have trimability if I wanted to go smaller. Now I've kind of used up my lid there. I'm going to start going down here, get that nice vintage red. I'm using Game Over here, which is the only Simon Hurley red I have. This could be a redder color, of course, if you have another one. But this is kind of going to look vintagey, I think. And you want it thin because you want it to dry pretty quickly. It's okay to get messy. We are just having fun as we play. Trying to get some of these whites that I've got left here. Not that it's really going to matter, but I really want it to look like a shiny paper. There we go. Looking good. All right. Now this will dry relatively quickly because of how thin this is. I know I'm putting it a little thicker than I was planning on it, but that's because of these indentions. Just trying to get those keyholes and all of that. So let me show you this up close. Now we have a beautiful red foiled cardstock that we've created ourselves. Isn't that pretty? Love the way that turned out. It took a little bit of elbow grease. You work in the paper, work in the medium, but it came out really, really pretty. Now you're going to set that aside just for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and clean my space. Then we'll do the next layer. Okay, now I'm just going to test it, make sure I'm not getting a bunch of red on my hands. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go with the Gold Rush next. We're going to change our sponge. And I'm going to put a flat sponge on now. And we're going to use our gold, which I haven't used in a while. So I'm going to just get a little bit of gold. You do not want a lot this time. Just want coverage, but not lots of coverage. You're barely going to touch this, barely. So I'm going to hold it down flat because it did curl a little bit. And I'm just going to barely touch the paper. You know what? I might even want to do it with my fingers. It might even be easier with my fingers. You can control it a little more with your fingers, I think. Trial and error, right? Look at that. You can choose to get these big keys also. See that? Just making sure no red is coming up on my fingers. Of course, the thicker you do it, the more gold it's going to be. It's looking really vintage, which is nice. And there's a lot of ways you can do this, but I am just going at it and having fun with my finger tool. My main emphasis are these big lockets. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. See that? Isn't that really cool? I love the way that looks. Now, what I decided to do, and this is just a top tip for you. If you ever see a design like this and you think, do I have anything to go with this? I wanted a key. And this kit this month doesn't have a key in it. And this just has these awesome keys, right? These keyholes and everything. So I went on the Spellbinders website and I just searched the word key, and up popped last year's club kit. And so I was able to get an envelope with a heart on it and a key. So if you happen to have last year's club kit, you'll be able to complete your card just like me. And then the pieces that I got from the other club kit were from April 2025, the small and large die of the month. I used the large die, the key, the envelope, and the little seal from here. Then I grabbed a heart from my gnome drive, the large heart. These are the ones I used, and I think I'm going to cut this down so we have a white border. To attach this to the card base, I have used double-sided adhesive from Altenew. This is just going to help the texture of the embossed piece stick easily. It also helps if it is rippled or anything like that for it to lay properly. See how nice and smooth that allows it to lay down? If you, by any chance, used any heat or anything to dry your panel and it has any kind of ripples in it from the embossing folder, it's going to just adhere super nice with no ripples at all. And I love how that turns out. So now all we're going to do is just embellish this just a little bit with a few little die cuts, and we can kind of sort them out however we see fit. I've got a little lock and key here. I thought the heart looked like, the key to my heart, which went with this. And then my sentiment reads, because real friends still send cards, which is where my letter comes in play. So I thought a little tiny collage like that, making kind of a triangle effect, would be super cute just to jazz up the card. The main feature is the embossing folder. I just wanted to do a little something to play on the design of the card, something cute and simple. So I'll just go ahead and glue these down. I have used papers here also from Your Paper Insider. This is the glossy glitter that I've got here, and I love these. They're so nice. So I went ahead and used that. I'm going to lay the key right across the heart. And we'll just add a little glue right there. We'll just make ourselves a little triangle here. And then we'll add our last piece here. And I think that's all we need. I'm going to go ahead and attach this. Put a little glue here, and a little glue here. And then we'll have the entire thing down. Or should we pop this up, I wonder? Maybe we will. We'll pop it up. Got a little foam tape here. We will just add some foam tape and pop this up. Okay. Then one little more piece on the heart, and I think we'll be good to go. There we go. See now? Yeah, there we go. That's what it needed. Just add that, and our card will be finished. And I love how this all ties in with our background. Perfect. There is that one. All right, let me clean up, and I have one more card for you. All right, for our last card, we are going to take the Glimmer plate of the month and heat it up here on our foil machine. We're going to hit the timer, and as soon as this timer goes solid, we will hot foil this plate. Now, we are going to use a specialty cream shimmer card. It's really hard to see in the camera, but it's a shimmer card. And then we're going to use a gold foil for our background. So I've got these already pre-cut so that we can go ahead and jump straight in and finish this card pretty quickly. I know I've had you here quite a while today, but I hope you've enjoyed all the samples. And as always, I have all of the supply list listed down below in a visual supply list, along with the club links as well, if you have any questions about any of these products. Make sure you leave me a message below. Now, I've seen this here, the timer is solid. So we will go ahead and we will start by putting our shiny side down on the glimmer plate. You always want shiny to shiny. Then you want paper to the dull side. That is your adhesive. Then we're going to put our 2 plates. And then we're going to unattach and put it through our Platinum 6. You want to roll this a little slowly just to give it time to totally adhere to your paper, and then attach this back into your base. Look at this beautiful foil. Isn't that gorgeous? I think I'm going to love this plate. Let it cool down just a little bit here. And then we will peel and reveal. Look at there. Love, 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 love. Isn't that pretty? Went ahead and framed this with our red paper, so it is completely ready to build on. I'm going to go ahead and remove my glimmer from our desk, and then we will finish our card. To finish this last card today, I'm going to go ahead and use the stitching of the month. And I've already pre-done my little teacups here. I did a light and a dark pink and red cup, and I alternated the little hearts here. And then I did a gold heart in the center to coordinate with my gold background. So we're going to go ahead and offset those here on the background. And then we're just going to put a simple I love you. And I think that will be just enough to finish this card. Just like that. Isn't that nice and sweet? I love that, the way that turned out. All right, so this is the last card. I'll go ahead and glue it after I end the video. Let me bring in all of the cards here for today, and you let me know which one of these has ended up being your favorite. I've got the 3 Valentine ones up here, and then I have these 2 down here as well. So which of these 5 cards is your favorite today? I would love to hear that down below. And I want to thank you for watching the video till the very end. I do appreciate that. It helps my channel, as well as hitting that like and subscribe button. That's always appreciated. Thank you so much, my friends, and I will see you in the next crafty video. Bye-bye for now.